As a Fulani man, I face persecutions and constant threats to my life, Archbishop Lamido speaks. The former Dean of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, the Archbishop of Kaduna Province, the Bishop of Wusasa Diocese, the Most Reverend Dr. Ali Buba Lamido, retired recently after 27 years of meritorious service in the Lord's vineyard. The first Fulani bishop in Nigeria speaks with Isaac Shobayo on a myriad of issues, including his sojourn in the ministry and the challenges of being a bishop of Fulani extraction. They told him, kindly share an insight into your background, and he replied, I was born in Sheleng in the present-day Sheleng local government of Adamawa State. At the age of 5, I was brought to Vom in Plateau State to live in my late aunt. I grew up in a house and became a Christian. I attended St. Andrew's Primary School and later Kaguru Secondary School. I obtained my Grade 2 Teacher's Certificate from Castina Teachers College. I worked with Jos Local Government for a year before joining the National Veterinary Research Institute, NVRI, where I was among the pioneer staff that started the staff school. Afterward, I went to seminary where I pursued further studies and eventually became a full-time priest with the Anglican Church. I obtained various academic certificates including a Bachelor of Science in Social Studies, a Master's in Church History, a Doctor of Ministry in Missions, and a PhD in Philosophy, specializing in Sacred Theology. I was also awarded a Doctor of Divinity. Throughout my career, I served in various capacities within the Anglican Church, eventually becoming the first Bishop of Wusasa Diocese, Zaria, in 1997. I am of Fulani extraction from northeast Adamawa State, married and have 3 children. They asked, with your Muslim background, what were the challenges you faced when you converted to Christianity and became a priest for that matter? He replied, initially I faced minimal opposition from Muslims when I converted to Christianity in the early 1970s. However, as time passed, I encountered more significant challenges, particularly from Christians who were suspicious of my Fulani background. Despite being accepted within the Anglican hierarchy, I still face discrimination and persecution, especially due to stereotype associated with the Fulanis. I've been targeted for kidnapping and have had to relocate for safety reasons. Discrimination based both on my faith and ethnicity has been a recurring issue throughout my career. He asks, before your retirement, did you live in Wusasa, Zaria? He replied, no, for safety reasons. I have not lived in my bishop court in Wusasa, Zaria for nearly 4 years. I relocated to areas where I feel more secure. They asked, you mentioned that you faced persecution on both sides. How did you reach the level of bishop before your retirement and be accepted by the Christian hierarchy? He replied, when I rose through the ranks to become the Dean of the Anglican Church of Nigeria, my acceptance was not without opposition. Although I was elected by the majority, there was still significant resistance, particularly due to my Fulani heritage. However, I ultimately gained acceptance within the House of Bishops, albeit with ongoing challenges and discrimination. They asked, how do you personally feel about the stigma against Fulanis in Nigeria? He replied, the stigma against Fulani is unjust and traumatizing. While it is true that some individuals from the Fulani community have engaged in criminal activities, it is unfair to generalize and label the entire tribe as criminals. People should be judged based on their actions rather than their ethnicity. It is important to address criminal behavior on an individual basis rather than attributing it to an entire tribe. As a Fulani Christian, I reject this stereotype and advocate fair treatment based on individual merit rather than tribal affiliation. They asked, it is quite unfortunate that Nigeria at this crucial moment is facing quite a lot of challenges, and insecurity is one of them. What is the way out of the quagmire? He replied, the way out of it is that the government has the willpower to fight it. You see, like Boko Haram, the government has been fighting the soldiers of Boko Haram, but they are not being considered enough to really fight their sponsors. Up till now, we do not know their sponsors. The government has to know them. They know the sponsors. They know those who are encouraging this Boko Haram internally and externally. but the government has failed to mention them or give them the support they need. So that is a minus for the government. And for security agents, then the government has to overhaul its security architecture. The security system encourages a lot of corruption. If you look at the budget in the last 10 years, you will discover that the government has spent a lot of money on security. The buying of weapons and military equipment and so on to fight this incident. Where is this equipment? Where are these weapons? Now, government after government, you will discover they will campaign publicly that they will fight security, but it seems nothing is being done about it. Now, with ourselves, how many kidnappers have been persecuted in this country? How many Boko Haram have been persecuted in this country? To the best of my knowledge, none. They're giving them amnesty and then recruiting some of them unknowingly as much as they can into the Nigerian army and police. And this is also another minus that is not helping our country. Now, about the way out again, I think the president as commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces has the power to decide or to declare a full-blown war against the criminality. But it has not been so. This is where we are with insecurity. The president ought to declare a total war against them. I'm sure that with the willpower and proper determination, we can fight this war against banditry and insurgency within a month, if we are serious. And you can see that even in our national parliament, there's never been a debate or bill passed on what kind of punishment to punish kidnappers and bandits. And this has become a topic of debate. This is a total menace to the country. Nobody talks about what you do to get rid of them. I think they should have had a law to have a mobile court that will sit every day and any bandit that is arrested can be dealt with accordingly. But if they leave them in the hands of the police, and the police in most cases will not take them to court for prosecution, they're released back into society and they're recycled into society. So we need to be honest with ourselves. We cannot continue to politicize the issue, and that is what we are doing. This is why this issue has lingered for so long. Now you just imagine that our country has turned to what our country has turned to today. The inflationary rate has grown very, very high. People can no longer afford to eat. The poverty level has increased. What do you expect from society? Increase in criminality. This is what it means. So bad governance is part of it. And so long as security is politicized, this issue of banditry and this thing will continue. And it might consume the whole country. They asked, sir, back to the issue of a retirement. Are you saying that the challenges you faced forced you to retire? He replied, yes. My life has always been targeted. The government knows, the DSS knows, the military knows, and the police know. They even arrested the people who planned to kidnap me. They were shown on national television channels 3 years ago. These criminals have been released into the society, and the position and the zeal with which they have to arrest me or kidnap me have always been there. So what would I do then? Except to resign my job and look for a safer place for me and my family. But that is not the only case. There are several people like me who have left their job in search of their daily bread, which can no longer contain it, and have relocated. So if you go to the northwest, for instance, some people from the southern area have already relocated. There is no business going on. There is no work going on. And so work has been left for the bandits and the government. So that is a problem. Alright, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time.